Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a full set of Gel X nails. First, you want to go ahead and measure out the nail tips to make sure what you're going to be using. And once you've already cut the cuticles and prepped the nails, you want to go ahead and start with the dehydrator, and then you will be going ahead and using the primer. You can do 1 coat or 2 coats of primer. It's really up to you and what your preference is. I have started using 2 coats and it works for me, so I do the 2 coats. Make sure you get every part of their nail, and then you're going to go ahead and go in with the Extend Gel. You want to put a thin coat on the nail, and you will be curing this for 30 seconds. It's very important that you only cure for 30 seconds. If you cure any longer, what happens is you over cure and that sticky layer at the top won't be so sticky anymore. So when you actually try to bond the nail extension with the gel that's already on the nail, it won't stick so well, so you'll have nails that are popping off. So you want to make sure that they last. Do a 30-second cure and no longer than that. And you also want to make sure to not do too much of a thick layer, but you do want to put enough. So it'll take some time to figure out how much you need, but it's actually a really great system once you get it down. Once you've done all of the gel on the nails and you cure for 30 seconds, or while you're curing, you want to go ahead and file the inside of the nails that you had already selected for the nail sizes for the fingers. Go ahead and file enough so that you create a rough surface. This is what allows you to not have to file the natural nail. So make sure that you create a rough enough surface so that again the nails don't pop off. Once you've gone ahead and filed the inside, you want to go ahead and put a good amount of gel on the inside of the nail, which is what you're going to be using to bond to the natural nail. One thing to note here, in this case, if you look at when I'm placing the nail, one of the things that I'm doing is I brush out all the excess. That way you don't have a bunch of gel on the bottom and you have to file it at the end. One thing to note though is when you do that and you brush it off, you kind of put a thin layer of the gel all over the nail. If you're going to shorten the nails, then you have to use an electric file to shorten. If you go in and try to cut it, sometimes it'll break the whole nail. So just be careful with that. And once you get a little more practice on the amount of gel that you're putting inside of the nails, you won't even have to brush it off. You'll get a good amount. So here on this next one, as you can see, I place it, I brush it down. That's to reduce the amount of bubbles that we get. And since I didn't have too much left over here, I just go ahead and cure and I don't have to brush any out. This is where you want to get to so that you're saving more time and not having to brush out and then file down. Instead, you can just go in and cut. For this video, you will see me filing down the nails with the electric file, but I have done it where I just cut them down with the nail clipper, and it works out very well as well. So just whatever is going to save you more time. If you're very good with the electric file, go that route. If you rather use a nail clipper, go that route as well. So here you see this method where I'm doing one nail at a time. I pick up the nail extension, I put in the gel, and then I go ahead and place it on the nail and cure it for 10 seconds with the flashlight. And then you want to go ahead and afterwards place it the whole hand for 1 whole minute into the lamp. Also make sure that you put enough pressure on the nail when you're holding it down. If you don't put enough pressure, again, that's another factor that will allow your nails to just pop off. So make sure to put a lot of pressure when you are doing this flash cure before you're putting them into the actual nail lamp. Again, just try to, try and not use too much gel, just so you don't have so much excess so you're not wasting as well. It's about saving your resources, but also just make it easier on yourself. And then doing the flash cure and making sure that you get all the angles and that you put enough pressure on them. If any of the gel oozes out from the sides, You can always clean it off before you put before you flash cure. That'll also help with the cleanup and shaping of the nails. Here what I did instead is I got all of the 5 nails and I put the gel inside of them first. And then what you're gonna see here is I just go down each finger and I put them on a lot faster. Either way works. Sometimes it's all about creating like a little assembly line. It'll be a little bit faster, but whatever works for you, honestly, just use that. Either way will work just as fine as long as you're putting enough pressure, you're curing enough, and you didn't over cure what you were when you put in the natural nails into the lamp. And then you'll see afterwards how I filed down the cuticle and just try to make it a little more flush down. First, that was one of my concerns. I thought maybe it was going to look like it was too thick, but no, they look very natural once they're on and very, very nice. And they also feel super light. That's one of the things that I am getting from my clients. So this is something that I offer to people that want to get their nails done but don't normally get acrylics. This is a really, really good alternative for them. They will love it. Once I've gone ahead and cured both hands, 60 seconds each, I go ahead and go around the cuticle with a cuticle bit, safety bit, to remove any of the gel that might have oozed out and also to file it down, file that nail extension so that it looks a lot more natural coming from her cuticles. You want to make sure to get any of that excess gel out of the way to make them look pretty. And here you will see how I am shortening the nails to get them to the desired length. Again, I am using the electric file. Since I did brush out the gel on some of these, I just figured I would use the electric file for all of them. But the nail clippers for me are a lot quicker. So it just depends on what you want to do. And because they are soft gel, they do file really fast, as you can see here, so it doesn't take that much work. They do file off very, very fast. And then what I do, these were the square tips. I do go in and make them a little more tapered, just because I like more of that square stiletto, that square like ballerina. In between ballerina and square, I really like that shape, so that's really what I'm going in here and doing. And I'm roughening up the surface to get it ready for polish. You don't have to roughen up the whole surface. I have seen the Apres lives where they just wipe the nail with acetone. I have tried that and it also works. This is honestly just a preference. I think it looks pretty when I file the whole nail, so that's why I do that. But it does take a lot more time and you do not need to do that. But it also helps with the shaping for me personally. All about preference and what works for you. Here's just another example. I like to use hand files versus using the electric file just because I feel like I have a lot more control over it and I can get a lot smoother finish. This is also what I do for acrylic nails. Once they're done, I go over with the cuticle bit on the cuticles, but then I do most of my work with a hand file because I feel more comfortable with it. I feel like you get a lot smoother finish with a hand file. Once you're all done with the shaping, you want to cleanse them out, or I do, just to get some of that powder, that excess off. Dust, not powder. And I just clean them with a regular alcohol. Nothing crazy. And here I'm actually going to start with the design. It's nothing too crazy, just a little bit of matte and glitters. So just enjoy. The glitter I did mix myself, and this polish is actually a brand from a local store here in Pomona, California called Mica. And you can buy them at their store only. They don't have any online. They're very nice. I like them. They're not too expensive and they do a really good job. They hold up very well. But other than that, you can go ahead and enjoy. These polishes are all 2-coat finishes, so you'll see me here doing the second coat. If you notice, for the first coat, what I do is I clean off the tip, and then for this second coat, I actually put some polish there on the tip. It's very important to not put too much because the nails will lose the shape. That was one issue that I was having at the beginning when using any gel polishes, that the nails were losing the shape. I was spending all this time shaping the nails, and then with the polish I was losing it. So that's one thing that I learned at the tips. You want to make sure that you don't put too much polish so that it doesn't lose the shape. Once I have done the 2 coats, I go ahead and seal them, is what I call, but it's just putting a top coat on them. I love using the gel bottle ink. They do have 2 top coats. They have the regular top coat and the rubber top coat. This is the regular top coat. The rubber top coat is very thick, very nice. That one you can use to encapsulate like any glitters or anything that are a little more rough. But this one works just as well. I will be doing one of these nails in matte, but I always like to put clear coat on them first and then the matte, just in case the matte comes off, like you still have that seal under. So you'll see here, I am using the Presto matte. So this was the gel bottle clear coat that I was using, and this is the Presto matte. Honestly, I love it. I have had really good results. I have a lot of girls that come back and still have their nails in matte a month later. So I have no complaints over this other than the price, but honestly it's super worth it. So I would recommend it, hands down. You cure for 1 minute. I cure for 1 minute. Honestly, I think it's maybe less, but I can't read it. It's in another language. And here, I actually mixed my own glitter. I used the IBD hard gel and just mixed the glitter with it to create that glitter nail that you guys will see. So IBD hard gel and just loose glitter and mix them together to create the glitter nail. It actually turned out really nice. This was my first time mixing this way, but I actually really enjoyed it. And it also builds the nail a little bit more. to make it slightly thicker. But since it's still a gel, it doesn't make the nails heavy at all. And I actually really enjoyed also using this type of brush to put on a color. It just makes it a lot more manageable. You want to make sure you cover the whole nail, and you want to make sure you do it as evenly as possible. You can do it sloppy, but then that just means more work to correct it, so be neat, ladies. That's one of the things that I do notice often when people say they just got their nails done. Like, you can see the cuticles, you can see you didn't dry, you can see you didn't go back and clean them. Be neat. There's not that many people out there that do a neat job. You will have people coming back to you simply because you were neat. So pay attention to the small details, the cuticles, the sides of the nails, the tip of the nail. Everything matters and everything makes a difference. Because when somebody's sitting there and they have all this time in the world, when they're on their phone, they're looking at all the little details that you didn't take care of on their nails. So make sure you're very detailed. Here, all I am doing is putting some cuticle oil on her cuticles. Also, don't forget the cuticle oil, ladies. Makes a big difference for your pictures, and also, I mean, for the nails in general, but don't forget it. And, you know, go the little extra mile, massage it a little bit longer, and clients will like that. They'll tip you afterwards, so just take your time. Don't rush it. And we're all done. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer.